welcome to another vlog, another episode of the marathon. I just dropped Thomas off at school and I'm about to go up to my office. And today I wanted to have like a very specific theme for the video, and it's something that I've been wanting to film for quite a while because it's been very helpful for me, for my energy, for my mental health, for my like use of time, etc. So I wanted to share that with you today. The overarching, the mantra, the motto, the line that I've been saying for over a year now is, how can this be easy? And I think I heard it from Mel Robbins, I think. It's just been something that has been very helpful to me. So in a situation that is like busy or stressful or confusing, or, you know, I have that decision fatigue, which I'm sure many of you can relate to, where you're like, I cannot make one more choice. Like, even if it's what's for dinner, where are we going for dinner, what am I wearing today? Like, the decision fatigue is so high. How can this be easy? And I've implemented some things that have really helped me, some like systems and some ideas and stuff. And so under that umbrella of the idea, that's what we're going to be sort of talking about today as I go about my day. Hopefully I'll get through all my thoughts in one day. We'll see. So first things first is, what does that mean? How can this be easy? How can I take something that is consistently stressful or currently stressful or difficult, or, you know, every day I know that this is going to be a time in which my anxiety peaks or my stress peaks, or, you know, it's a really tough section of the day, whether it's mornings and you're trying to get yourself and your kids ready to get out the door, or it's bedtime, or it's lunch, or it's anything. Like, pick a situation in which I'm sure you're talking to me right now and you could think of one or two where it's constantly something that is tough, or it's just like a one-off. And how can this be easy? So basically taking a step back, seeing it from like a bigger lens, like, because, you know, when you're so in the moment and you are like paralyzed with decision fatigue or paralyzed with exhaustion, that's not really the time to be thinking of it, but it can help. Like, you're in this moment and you're just like, how can this be easy? Okay, let me step back. How can I make this easier? Like, what can I take off my plate? What expectation can I release? What like level of service to a person can I sort of knock down a bit? What can I just completely stop doing? These types of questions. And since we're in the kitchen, I'll give you two specific ones that have helped me. One that I've talked about for a very long time, and another one that I implemented the beginning of this year. So one for me is breakfast. You know me, for years and years, vlogging every day, you saw me eat the same breakfast, either avocado toast or avocado on like Ryvita cracker, some fruit, a coffee, water, vitamins. Like, and people used to say to me, like, this is so boring, don't you get bored? And for me, no. Like, that was what I was having. And I'm not about trying to stress myself out in the morning and spend any unnecessary time making food or decisions. And now I have a smoothie every single day. I have 2 scoops of protein powder in it, so I know I'm getting a great like initial boost of protein. I'm getting, you know, some fruit, whatever else I'm putting in it, and it's a no-brainer. I have the ingredients, I make it, and then I have it to drink for a few hours in the morning. And just taking out the like what's for breakfast question is huge for me. This may not be something for you. You may be someone who like has to have the same thing every day, but I would encourage you to have, if that is something that stresses you out in the morning, or you find yourself skipping breakfast because you're like, oh, can't even be bothered. No, we all know that we have to start with like a very good breakfast, protein, energy to get us through the day, to kick it off. So thinking, and not planning this like at 6 a.m. tomorrow, thinking about it tonight. How can this be easy? What could I choose that's going to be something that I could have even for a season? Like, I don't have smoothies in the winter because I live in Canada and it's just far too cold. But right now, like, I will probably have the same chocolate peanut butter smoothie for a very long time, and that's okay with me. And then taking it back even another step further, how can this be easy? The night before, I could get out my Vitamix, I could get out the ingredients that don't need to be in the fridge or the freezer, the protein powder, the cinnamon, everything else is in the fridge, I think. Oh wait, the powdered peanut butter. I can have my cup out, like I could have it all out. How can this be easy? Like, how can I set myself up for tomorrow? If that makes sense. And then, here, let's sit down. Drink a little bit of coffee and chat with you. And then another thing that I did at the beginning of this year was really think about, how can this be easy? How can I make my day-to-day easier? Like, what's the friction? Where's the point of the day where I'm always like stressed or tired, or where am I making maybe not the best decisions because I'm so decision fatigued and exhausted, or focused on other things, other people, other tasks? So for me, that was figuring out what to make for food. Not breakfast, obviously, because that one I just like don't care about. But like lunch and dinner, I need to mix it up. Not much, like I'm happy to eat the same thing pretty frequently, but like, I don't know what it is about the time of day. Hopefully you can relate. Wanting to make my food at home because it's healthier, it's cheaper. You know, as I've talked about before, and I'll talk about more, like turning 40, I've really implemented a lot of health changes. So making my own food is really important to me. And again, like I work from home, and even when I'm working in the office for like as a therapist, and even when I'm going to our office multiple times a week to see therapy clients, I'm still packing a lunch. How can this be easy? Like, I don't want to be stressed about what I'm eating. Also, our house is kind of unique in that the three of us don't eat the same food. So that adds another level of, maybe it's easier because I only have to worry about like, what am I trying to decide to make for myself? Thomas is very easy. He has a very minimal diet, minimalistic diet. And my husband, he makes his own food. We don't cook for each other because he eats very differently than me. Anyway, so how can this be easy? How can I take out the decision fatigue of like, what am I making for lunch? What am I making for dinner? So I decided to hire a nutritionist, someone who just knows my preferences and sends me what I'm supposed to cook that week. And like, you could also do this with like meal delivery. You could do this with HelloFresh. I've never tried those before, but I signed up for 4 months just to see how I like it, and I love it. So at the beginning of the month, she sends me 7 breakfasts, 7 lunch, 7 dinner, and 7 snacks. And then I just have it in the app, and I can decide like how many portions of each I'm gonna cook. It curates a grocery list. I take that grocery list, I do an online order, and it's done. I don't have to go to the grocery store, like hardly ever. Sometimes to pick up 1 or 2 things that I've missed or that like need to be fresh, but it is so easy. And for me, that's like more meals than I would ever eat. Like the variety, I would like, I've never eaten all 21 meals, or 28, I guess, if you include snacks. And like, that might seem excessive to you. You might be like, that's a waste of money. But for me, it has just brought me so, like, it's just taken so much energy, like gone, that like wasted energy for me. So you could do this differently. Like you could sit down once a week and plan out your meals, which is what I had done for years. But I honestly stopped doing that once I became a widow, and then I tried to get back into it, and I could just never pull up the steam to do it. So that has been so helpful for me. I know I'm getting like, it also took out like how much protein, how much veg, like ugh, all that, hate it. Like I don't want to have to calculate my food. I just want to make it. It tells me like exactly how to cook it for one portion, and or two if I want to take it for lunch the next day, whatever. So how can this be easy? So if cooking, or like so many clients I talk to, like deciding what to make for dinner is like such a bone of contention in their house. Everyone's tired. Everyone's like not feeling it. So maybe for you it's different. Maybe it's, you know, you really start using your slow cooker. You really start batch cooking. You really start taking some time on the weekend to like meal prep so it's all ready for you. Or maybe this isn't something that you relate to. Maybe you love making different lunches and dinners, and that's like what brings you joy. That's fabulous. But like, how can this be easy? It's been a real game changer for me, honestly. We're gonna go up to my office and do some work, and I'll show you some more examples of what I mean. Here's to cold coffee that's been sitting there for an hour while you parent it. We're in my office, and I thought of something else that really helps me. How can this be easy? I started this when I was doing morning radio, and then stopped when I stopped, but I started doing it again now that I'm like leaving the house looking professional, not working from home. I get my outfit ready the night before. Tell me if you can relate to this, but there's something about, I don't know, the time crunch, the others, thousands of things that are going on in our house in the morning, that if I have to pick an outfit, 9 times out of 10, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I get sweaty, I'm like running behind, I hate all my clothes. I don't know what it is, but if I pick out my outfit, like after I've put Thomas to bed in the evening, I love all my outfits. I have the most robust, beautiful, gorgeous wardrobe, and I can put together super cute things. I don't know what it is. So that, and then in the morning, I just like shower, get ready, put on my outfit, no questions asked. And it really helps. And the reason why I thought of this is because in my office, I have this blazer, which I guess you can't really see, but it's sitting on my chair because I have virtual clients today. So I'm just gonna put it on over my shirt. But then I also have workout shorts and a sweatshirt and my socks that I wear in my runners because I'm going for a long walk with a girlfriend this afternoon and like wanted just everything to be ready. That really, really helps me. What decisions can I take out of the way? What work can I take out of the way? If it's like, I always make Thomas's lunch while I make dinner, boom, don't have to make his school lunch in the morning. I will pack my lunch at the same time, you know, set the coffee the night before, get the outfit out the night before, just so that, how can we have a nice easy start to the day? Because how we start the day can really dictate how the rest of our time goes that day. Like, as we all know, if we start out stressed, it can be hard to like reverse that feeling. And that's something that is so good to me. I also feel, because we're in my office, I need to show you. I did an office like clean and redo, posted it, and you all hated it as much as I did. And so I read all your comments and took them very seriously, and now I will show you what the office looks like. As you can tell, I've taken everything down except for that. This is where we've started. The desk is now on this wall by the door. People were suggesting that I move this, but it's anchored to the wall, and I'm just not about that. And then a lot of you suggested putting the couch by the window, which I did. And then now I just have the artwork to decide like where to put it, the fridge here, and I did get rid of the filing cabinet. So thank you for all your suggestions. Also, one of you had said like, because I was worried that there's tons of holes in the wall, and you were like, you could probably just position things so you can't see the holes, which is what I'm gonna do, like put up maybe one thing there, maybe two things there instead. I put the girls up there. Anyway, I appreciate your suggestions. So now when you walk in, I mean, it's a mess, obviously, because we have this happening, but I'm also just like letting it sit and think about it instead of making decisions immediately on where to hang stuff. And now this is here, and I do like it. And then obviously this is my blazer for my appointments today. I'm just on a break in between clients, and the grounds crews are here, so that's fun. But I just made myself a little protein shake snack. It's just a scoop of protein, water, and some berries. Again, like, how can this be easy? I'm hungry, easy. Like, you know, although I used this instead of the Vitamix, the like magic cup blender thing where you just put the base in here. Is there a trick to that? Because like, I always find it sucks. It's so hard to use. It's like so much more difficult than it needs to be. But anyway, just on a little break. So I thought I would mention that. How can this be easy? I'm hungry. Can sip on this while I see my clients. I'm not eating, which I find rude, but this feels like an easy way to get around that. Also, how can this be easy? Oh, she looks professional on top and then sweats on the bottom. I do love a day where it's just virtual clients. I'm heading out for a walk with a girlfriend, and I thought of a couple more how can this be easy examples that I have implemented. One, often when a friend wants to get together, we will go for a walk, whether we meet somewhere and get a coffee and then go for a walk, or today we're just meeting at like a beautiful spot and then we'll, you know, go for probably an hour and a half. So this meant, you know, I didn't have to work out, or chose not to work out this morning because I'm going to get my steps in with her. It's like a twofer, right? It's like I can see my friend, have a nice visit, get some fresh air, get some steps in, and instead of trying to fit multiple things in at once, just like making it into one. I know some people who will get together with a friend and their visit is like running errands so they can all get their stuff done, or whatever it is, cleaning, whatever. I think that can be very helpful. Another thing, how can this be easy? Some of the best advice I got when I first started my business in 2015 was to outsource either what I didn't like to do or what I couldn't do. So for my business purposes, that meant accountant and bookkeeper for sure, because that's not my forte, that's not my wheelhouse. So I pay both of them. Also, another would be, you know, like why people would hire me to do their social media, right? They're outsourcing something either they don't like to do, they don't want to do, they don't have the time to do, they don't know how to do. And one outsourcing for me personally in our home is I have a cleaner come every other week. And you may say that that's like a waste of money. You may say that that's stupid, whatever. Good for me, not for you. But for me, it is so worth it. I grew up watching my mom spend every single Saturday, all day, clean our house and do laundry and do all the things, all day. And I knew that I wanted to be able to spend time with my family on the weekend. Plus, you know, during COVID, when she couldn't come clean our house and I was cleaning my own house, it would take me like 3 days to get it all done because of T-Bone. So she comes for 2 hours twice a month and she just like blitzes, and it's amazing. You know, I'll still like clean in between, but she does the big things. And to me, I always say, like my girlfriend Tracy said to me once, like, it's the best form of self-care, and I couldn't agree more. It's also interesting why, like, I feel like I have to justify it, but, you know, you spend your money how you do. This is what I do, but for me, how can this be easy? This is one thing. Like, how can I, you know, outsource getting my house cleaned? And she's been cleaning it, like, I think we first got her in 2019, 2015, 2014, like 10 years. Again, she only comes every other week, only for 2 hours. How can this be easy? Like, it's just the best form of self-care, the best money spent. I would sacrifice a lot of other expenses before I would get rid of her. So that's another, like, how can this be easy? Outsourcing things that you don't like to do, you don't want to do, you don't have time to do, you can't do, that kind of thing. And then another thing that I was thinking of is I stopped booking so many things in a day. Like, I used to just book back to back to back to back to back. And while I will do that with clients, I still give myself like a few minutes in between, obviously, to like write my case notes, take a breath, prep for the next client, maybe have a snack, whatever. But what I'm meaning more is in my personal life. Like, I used to over schedule myself so that I'd be running to things, and it was just like so stressful and not enjoyable. I refused to be late to things, so just was very stressful. And I guess it's a two-part. How can this be easy? One, don't book things like do back to back. Two, be very realistic for how much time I'm going to need for each thing. And three, give myself grace in between each thing. So like today, I finished work for the morning at noon. I'm meeting my friend at 1, and I made a very quick lunch so that I wasn't rushed. Like, just chose to have something very simple so that I could eat without getting indigestion, and then like be 5 minutes early to meet her, instead of like, oh my God, now I have to rush and like run out the door. And like, it's just not good for my stress or anyone's stress or mental health or whatever. So how can this be easy? Book less, be realistic with how much time each task is going to take, and then also give yourself grace in between each thing. And then when you're looking at like, what am I doing? Also asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? Do I need to do this? Could this be taken off my to-do list? Could I outsource this? So now, while I go walk with my friend, the house is gonna get cleaned, which is amazing. So, BRB, we're gonna go take my little bag, which I wrap around my Stanley. Have I ever shown you this? I'm sure I've shown you this. It goes like this. So I just carry this, and I'll probably bring my phone. Here's another example of like easy breakfast. So I, on the weekend, made a huge batch of this granola. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time finding granola that doesn't have a lot of garbage in it. So I just make it from scratch. It's very simple, but then we have a huge, like this was also full, container to just pull from through the week. And then I just found this for all of my other non-dairy girlies. This is so good. This Silk Greek yogurt. I've forever been saying, like, why can't we have a vegan yogurt that also has protein? There's vanilla and there's also key lime. I've tried and they're both very good. So I take this, and then I have some granola and a banana, and obviously like takes me absolutely no time at all to make. It's full of protein. There's protein in the granola, some fruit, and then it keeps me satisfied until lunch. plus like, you know, all the water, the coffee, etc. But yeah, I really was glad that I had a second to show you this because delish. There's not very many vegan granolas that are even good in my opinion. I think Silk makes the best. I tried some when we were in Palm Springs. I tried the Trader Joe's one and it was gross, like the coconut. Anyway, so that's another super easy, like I guess just a little bit of prep on the weekend to have pieces. It would be as if you also had like, you know, cut all your veg up and then you could just easily compile a salad or a sandwich or something. Like, just how can this be easy? Sometimes it takes a little bit of work ahead, but then it's worth it. I didn't finish the video yesterday because I really wanted to make sure that I was intentionally reflecting and remembering everything that I wanted to include. I'd also love to know, how do you make things easier? Maybe this is something that you already do, but you never actually put it into so many words. I am sure many people do it, but what I think is sort of the overarching good thing to remember, to pause when you're in a very stressful, heightened, you know, point, and just step back, look at the bigger picture and say, how can this be easy? I've said that so many times while we were renovating our office at work last year. Stop. How can this be easy? Sometimes it's the easiest option, it's the cheapest, it's the most simple, and sometimes it's not. But it's just like, I think we overcomplicate things unnecessarily, and it's because anxiety is high, responsibility is high, overwhelm, decision fatigue, all the things. You may also need to think about this at a point when you are feeling able to actually problem solve, not necessarily in that moment, so that when those moments come up, you're prepared. So reflecting on, where's the friction in my life? What are the things that stress me out the most? When do I feel myself getting triggered? When do I feel myself getting amped up and heightened? And okay, how can this be easy? Like for me, I have always found the morning anxiety inducing, and it started like the day after I became a widow. I would get hit in the 7 o'clock hour with a wave of panic and anxiety, and it's something that sometimes will still show up, and most of the time it's unwarranted, like I'm not stressed out, but I can find, as we all do, mornings a lot. So that's why I make our lunches the day before, set out my clothes the day before, set the coffee the day before. I eat the same breakfast. Like, how can this be easy instead of trying to overcomplicate things? And then a couple other things that I did think of. How can this be easy? One, ask someone else. How do you do this? Like, I find so many times I'm going round and round with something, and I'll ask a girlfriend, and within like 90 seconds, they've brought me back down to calm and either helped me figure out what to do, shared how they do it, or made me realize it's not that big of a deal. Just let it go. So ask. I find, you know, the 5 o'clock witching hour with my kids really stressful. How do you manage that? What do you do? Ask how other people do things. I recently was trying to figure out how I could do something professionally that was very convoluted. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Nothing to do with my actual job, but more like how other people could use their like funding to get counseling with me. It's irrelevant. Anyway, I was like going round and round, and then I finally just asked my colleagues like, hey, any idea? Boom, within 3 seconds, one of my colleagues was like, answer. It's like, amazing. How can this be easy? Like, you're not an island. You can ask for help. You can ask people how they do things. And that's the other part of it. Just ask for help. I'm finding this really stressful. Can you help me? Don't expect your kids or your partner or whomever to anticipate your needs. how are they supposed to know what you want and how you want it? It's okay to speak your needs. It's okay to say like, hey, I need help. It's okay to say like, can you do this? But sometimes we have to speak up for ourselves. Hey, buddy. Sure. Are you hungry? Do you want to eat?
Oh.
No? Okay. Yeah, relax. Yeah. We had a seizure this morning, so he just napped it off. Slept for 2 hours. Now I'm just gonna see if he can go to school today or not. And that's another thing, like, I think, obviously, having Thomas and having his innumerable things that that little guy has to face has also taught me, like, how can this be easy? How can we simplify things? Like, we don't have to overthink. Also, it's saying no more. It's prioritizing time and sleep and all those kinds of things. How can this be easy? I find myself tired every day. Go to bed earlier. Get off your phone. Read a book. Meditate. Go to bed earlier. Some days I'm in bed at 8:30 and asleep by 9, and that's because it'll make my day the next day that much easier. I would love to know how you make things easier, or if you have like something in your life that you could use other marathoners and myself to weigh in on. Like, I'm really struggling with this. How do you all suggest that I make it easy? Comment down below, go in the Marathoner Facebook group, DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to post things anonymously as well. If you need advice on something, I just want us to stop overcomplicating things and like just simplify it. And it's okay however it works for you. I'll give you one last example because you know she loves to ramble. Funny. When I was back to thinking about when I was first a widow, I remember being in therapy and saying to my therapist, like, I used to cook dinner all the time. I used to have such like, you know, diversity in our food and cook from scratch, and all I feel like I'm doing now is just ordering sushi like 3 times a week. And I felt such shame from that. And she was like, you're fed, your son is fed, that's it. Like, end of story. Who cares what you're eating? Who cares how it looks right now? Right now, how can this be easy? Ordering food. And there's absolutely no shame in that. You don't have to meal prep. You don't have to have elaborate food. Like, how can this be easy? If it means ordering food, great. Like, however it's gonna work for you, there's just no shame. And I just kind of want to take that level out of it. Just because I'm now in a point where I'm doing okay to cook, wasn't always that way. And there are days when it's not. There are days when I'm ordering skip because I'm just like, how can this be easy today? We're gonna take the pressure off of cooking. Either he's had a seizure, I've had a migraine, it's been stressful, whatever. Just do you. You do you. Whatever is gonna be helpful for you. I hope this was helpful, and I really hope that you can find a way to like remind yourself in the moment, how can this be easy? Whether it's taking a deep breath, helping yourself not get so overwhelmed, seeing the bigger picture, letting go, remembering the mantra of let them, good for you, not for me, walking away, saying no, saying yes, asking for help, brainstorming, journaling, whatever it is. Okay. That's it for today's vlog, which ended up being 2 days, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave some comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.